Kroger, an annual Boost membership just got even better. Now you can choose from Disney Plus with ads, Hulu with ads, or ESPN Plus on us when you sign up. Plus, enjoy unlimited free delivery, double fuel points, exclusive offers, and free items. Sign up for a Boost membership today. It's an easier way to save, including new streaming options to relax with while we deliver your groceries. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Save big this holiday season. All in the Kroger app. Buy 2, get 3 free on 12 packs of delicious Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or Canada Dry. Then get flavorful Kroger Spiral Sliced Ham for $1.99 a pound with an additional $25 purchase, limit 2, all with your card. Shop these deals at your local Kroger, less than 5 miles away. Or tap the screen now to download the Kroger app to save big today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Prices and product availability subject to change. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Edna J. White, and I am your host on Keeping It Real on Purpose, where our discussions challenge your everyday thinking, create new habits, and end your limiting beliefs around your life, your self-worth, your relationships, and your business or career. Today, I'm so excited to announce our new sponsor who brought this radio station to you today. It is Vibro Infotech LLC. We are sure you're very busy, so we're going to cut to the chase. We can support you and your company to focus on what you do best while we provide top-notch accounting, bookkeeping, payroll services, and now business loans from $1 million to $500 million. Just contact Shankar, the CEO and the president, at 1-315-314-4264 or email him at Shankar, SHANKAR, at vbrointech.com. Get the accounting services done right and the business loan you want for your next project. Remember, call 315-314-4264 and tell them that Edna White sent you. Now let's get started on today's show. I'm so excited today because I've been working on this new idea that I have. You know, I'm always having these ideas, audience, right? I am now doing this segment. This is the second of I don't know how many pieces, but I'm just going to keep putting it out there. But it's the second episode, and it's called Elephant in the Room. Okay? Now you are definitely intrigued now, huh? Definitely. So this is going to be talking about those things that we fail to talk about and that we don't want to talk about, and we hardly hear on radio, we hardly hear on podcasts, we hardly hear on YouTube or television, but we're going to talk about them today because there are so many issues that we don't talk about and we need to talk about. And you know that my services and my work that I provide to my clients is around their limiting beliefs. As a life purpose performance coach, I believe that when you do not take care of life's issues that have affected you, your life's traumas and life habits and life patterns, it affects every part of your life, your financial life, your personal life, your love life, your business life. It affects those 4 areas totally. And in other areas, it even can affect your soul life, which then infects your spiritual life. Now, I've been working on this, I want to say part of what I'm doing. I don't know what it's called, audience, but hang in there with me. Okay, so I've been thinking about and working on limiting beliefs, right? And I started thinking about this a long while ago for myself and how as a black woman, as a woman, as a mom, a single mom, as someone who has experienced abortion, as someone who was really discriminated against from jump, from first grade. Okay. I've been thinking about those things that impacted my life and how feeling those things and going through those things changed me. And then I started thinking, hey, I'm sure that me as a black woman, other black women have experienced it. So I started poking around and trying to talk to people about this. And, not many black people are willing to talk about this. Not many black people are willing to open up the elephant in the room. And as black women, we do not think that we're allowed or given the right to have great wellness. Because let me just say this, wellness is number one. Wellness is very, very, very important. And that plays a whole big scenario on those 4 areas I told you about. See, we live in an exciting time, and the times that are happening now is very exciting, yet very, you have to be very mindful and conscious. And self-care and self-care and meditation, have almost become like the mainstream. Now, as I was talking to someone last night, I was telling them that we get prayer and meditation completely confused. They're 2 different things. And as black women, we are not open enough because we're still in that daddy's little girl syndrome. And I know what it feels like to grow up in a toxic household. And I know how it feels to grow up needing fatherly love. But I also know how it feels to be able to understand what God encompasses, and that He's bigger than what my thoughts are. And I learned that along the way, that I am one with Him. And black women experience tremendous anxiety that's never dealt with. Let's go to the counselor and talk this through. Instead, we're told to drop to our knees and start praying. And in all essence, we don't know what prayer is. We don't know what to pray for because we haven't forgiven ourselves. We don't know what free will is because we're listening to somebody to do something that we don't even know what to do. So, being surrounded by all that toxicity, I learned, or I adapted into my life, that anxiety and depression were normal and were natural parts of my life. And the mental illness and suffering was part of a black woman's life. That's what I learned, and I unlearned that very quickly. You see, I internalized the pattern so deeply that in my 20s I thought thinking about suicide, it's normal. I contemplated suicide. I executed suicide. It just didn't happen, but I did. And I thought it was normal. And I just got up and dusted myself off and thought that that was all that needed to be done. But as I carried along in my life, I found out that committing suicide or planning to commit suicide stopped me from gaining opportunities, seeing opportunities being presented to me and not being able to receive because I was unworthy still in my 30s and my 40s. So when I started my healing journey, I was insatiable for information about how to transform my negative, self-limiting beliefs and heal from my past. And I must tell you that my healing journey started at 18, stopped when I got into the religious sector or to church, because, and that was 29 years I served in the church, I never received any healing. I received a Band-Aid, and still underneath all of that, the pain, the negative self-talk, the self-limiting beliefs were festering and becoming this boil that made me unapproachable, made me someone that had no voice, that couldn't create a conversation, and limited me on all the opportunities that were available to me. So I was able to transform my negative, self-limiting beliefs and heal from my past. I noticed that for the large part of my healing, as I learned, I like to share, I didn't hear other Black female voices as part of the conversation. I didn't know at the time, but it was a lack of understanding for these Black women, because they were in the religious sector and they believed that give it to God and it's supposed to dissipate into the air. And boy, did I learn hard that that's not the space for healing in your life. Black women across the country and beyond should start creating a space for healing their lives. One overarching theme that I've encountered time and time again is that Black women feel they don't deserve the right to heal. And in that, they don't deserve, or they should not pay someone to heal. They should go to God, or let me just say, no, not to God, excuse me. They should go to the church and listen to someone, and they should preach that out of them. And that's not how it goes. It didn't go that way for me, and I'm sure for many others it didn't go well. We need to make space for that. We need to, women of color and Black women in particular, need to be in the healing arts. We need to learn how to allow ourselves to heal. We need to take care of ourselves, because we take care of our lovers, our husbands, we nurture our children, we grow our businesses and our careers. But when it comes to our personal self-care, we somehow draw the line in the sand. Many Black women I encounter suffer from superwoman syndrome, which affects all women. However, Black women experience it in a very unique way. You see, the superwoman syndrome is pretty much what it sounds like. We're expecting to do everything and do it all well, and then at the same time, to prepare healthy meals, to raise intelligent children, to be sexual goddess, to clean the house and do all of it without complaining. You know, who could keep up with that? Black women are taught historically, socially, on TV, movies, and literaries that we are to be strong. We're told to be strong. Oh, that's a strong Black woman. I remember when I went to China and I was wearing, I think I was wearing shorts. And so we were walking in the one of the alley fronts, and there was usually food and vendors all around. And so one of the vendors is really close to us. And close to me as well. So he ran up to me, ran around the counter, and he touched my legs. And he said, very strong legs. And I was like, what? You know? And although he meant it as a compliment, I just said, oh, thanks, for calling me strong. I kind of added a question mark to the end of it. But the insidious part about this is that it implies that our strength means we can take more pain. Black women are all about half as likely to be prescribed pain medication than whites are, because they're offered holistic helps. They're offered holistic options, whereas black women are given, take this medication. And we lose our voice. We don't voice up when we go to the doctors. And if we don't ever go, is because we don't know what to say. We don't want to, we don't know what to say, or we don't speak up for ourselves. Thus, we don't have a voice. Black women don't have a voice. And when we have a voice, we're angry because we're not healing. We're not making place for healing. So where our communication is not complicated, and our communicating with other people is effective and efficient. Black women are also about 3 to 4 times more likely to die of pregnancy or delivery complications than white women. Why? We're not given those same medical options as they are. But these are some of the factors and just stats. And I don't want to get into stats before I get into that black women don't feel that they have the right to complain, because they've been given this oracle of black women are strong. And thus we have this bitch face. And we sit there and we have, we can't smile. We got to have this, strong shoulders. And when we get home, we are so tired and so sick and so in pain that we don't even sleep well. I was so very thrilled to see Ayanna Van Zandt on television taking care of our black women, and how she's, would say that you need to take care of yourself and have some self-care. But instead, people that did not understand or were rebelling, they said, she was full of herself for saying this or that. But you know what? A lot of that was truth. And if we start living in truth about what things really are, we wouldn't be too quick to call things, she's full of herself. A lot of times we see people flourishing and doing things. When we rebel against it, we criticize. When that shouldn't even been a place that, or shouldn't have been set in the air for us to even say. Because listen, when you put something into the air about someone else, regardless of who they are, you set it in motion, and guess what? It just doesn't rain over them. It rains over you too. So think about what you're saying as a person, black or white or anyone. Think about what you're saying, what you're pronouncing over everyone else, and your judgment. Look back and see if it's now falling on you. See, I want to be in the front row of that self-love revolution, I want to be on that self-love journey. I want to release all the guilt. And I want our black women to release that guilt and take care of themselves. So healing is our birthright. It's taking immaculate care of ourselves. And guess what? It's not an option not to. You see, women, black women, white women, anyone, are the ones who will heal the next generation and move us all towards the next level of consciousness. But guess what we got to do? It's our duties to give space, time, and to prepare for that undertaking. And how do we do that? Well, we have to meditate, right? And we have to get ourselves right on the inside. Our inner energy has to be so right. Now, there are a couple of areas that I'm going to cover, but not today. That the limiting beliefs of Black women. And you all can comment and you can send me information if you want to add to the list, because it might be more. And I'm going off of some, statistics, some medical findings, but I'm definitely looking at myself as a reflective mirror on what I was affected by. So let's take it from one step at a time. So I did talk to you about wellness. Another area that Black women, are limited in is sports. Another area is money. Another area is poor body image. Another area is racism, diversity, and discrimination. And still another is history of stereotypes. Religious beliefs, which are the whole slave experience and the lies that were created to keep us in bondage. Yeah, that's heavy. We don't want to accept that one. The Jezebel stereotype. And just for the Black community in general, the impact of centuries of unaddressed trauma and the ongoing social injustice that impact us, and very, very well now, and even that we inherited. Our culture that's shaped by trauma. Symptoms of PTSD that don't get addressed like they would for white people. We don't address them. They're not addressed by doctors, by us. We don't accept that they lie in our life, but they do. And listen, the best way to address address something is admit that it is there. So you know what you're dealing with, and so you know how to deal with it, and then you know how to solve it. It's just completely false that we have to ignore something and it'll go away. It's completely, whoever told you that you give it to somebody, or you take that and you take the idea that you have something and you give it to somebody else, or you put it in the air and you throw it up. Well, guess what happens? It's like confetti. You put it out in the air and it comes right back down on you. You have to deal with it yourself. You have to work on it yourself. Parental issues that were, inherited. We have those things. But as these stories unfolds, right, and how our past affects our future, we have to be able to be in the present and be mindful. As we're starting families, as we're, getting to professions and careers that, affect other people, as we talk with other people, converse with other people, create circles and friendships and relationships, we have to be mindful and we have to be inward. Because healing and repair has to begin with us. And it has to be acknowledged, it has to be investigated, and have to take some patience, but it also needs a safe space, and we have to allow that. No one else gives us the right, allows us. Well, do you give me consent to heal? Nah. You give yourself that consent. The very thought of religious, Black people serving other people in your spiritual journey is spiritual abuse. Yeah, we don't want to talk about that, but it is. And I can take it from my experience of being in a church that told me what to wear, told me how to act, told me who I could speak to and couldn't speak to, told me how much money I had to give to them and how much, how much money I had to give to them, told me what I could do and couldn't do with my family, told me where I could not go, had so much implications of slavery. Because I was broken, I never saw it. I never looked at it. I never saw it until I was able to see it. Till I was able to, stand out of myself and look and say, wow, this is what's happening. There's no way that someone should be telling you or orchestrating a way to create dogma and brainwashing that you are being told how to have a relationship with God or spiritual experience with the Almighty. No one should be giving you instruction to do that. And that's why we get so tricked out of time, out of experiences, out of memories, because we're broken and we're not given the instruction by the hospital, which is the church, to say, listen, you don't need to be here every Sunday. You don't need to be here every Friday. You need to go to the psychiatrist and you need to work on this here. You may need to do this. If you would like, I have someone within the organization that is a doctor, that is a psychiatrist, that's a specialist in that area. But it doesn't happen. We end up marking time, stepping in place, Sunday after Sunday after Sunday, being not rejuvenated, but reinforced to do their desires and not the desire that is in line with what the spiritual life is all about. So your spiritual relationship, guess what? Is all about you and whomever you call that link to the omniscient is. So no one has the right to tell you how to do that, because 9 times out of 10 they probably don't know either, because they haven't tried, because they're just repeating a pattern that somebody else kind of told them over centuries of their own trauma and their own hypervigilance. So this is just another little snippet that I, came up with that I thought I wanted to tell you. And I believe that we're going to take each piece of those components and take a deep dive into them each week. And I think I'm going to go with Theoretical Thursdays for this and talk about the elephant in the room. I really thank you guys for listening in today, what I had to say, and, keeping on task with me, because you guys are doing really amazing. Thank you, audience, for being there for me and supporting me. And please, after you finish listening to this, share this with someone. Send me an email, ednajwhite11@gmail. Send me an email. Tell me what you thought about it. If you enjoy my show, please rate and review us on Amazon, because we're on Amazon now. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Rate and review us on Anchor.fm. And be sure to come back next week for a discussion. Until then, this is your host, Edna J. White. And don't forget, go for the joy. Life is here for you to enjoy today.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Save big this holiday season. All in the Kroger app. Buy 2, get 3 free on 12 packs of delicious Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or Canada Dry. Then get flavorful Kroger Spiral Sliced Ham for $1.99 a pound with an additional $25 purchase. Limit 2, all with your card. Shop these deals at your local Kroger, less than 5 miles away. Or tap the screen now to download the Kroger app to save big today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Prices and product availability subject to change. Restrictions apply. See site for details.